And welcome everybody. Fantastic to have you all here. I don't think we've got anyone that is not familiar with fit20. If you are unfamiliar with fit20, we'll give you a quick overview of that, but I don't believe we have, so we can skip that part and jump straight into our main event. And that is Adam. Adam is a high performance coach. I'm going to read his bio so I get it exactly as he'd like it to be. He's a high performance coach that specializes in habit formation, and he works with one-to-one clients and also in businesses with group trainings. And he helps them get a better understanding of their own behavior and how they can unlock their true potential. Adam started Big Raw Coaching last year in July, as some of you might have heard just now, and has gone to work with over 50 clients already in the last 6 months. So he's obviously good because the word is getting out about that. And we're really delighted to have you with us today, Adam. Lucy recommended you very highly to talk about a particular habit formation at a specific time of day. And it's the morning routine. So over to you, Adam.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's it's great to meet as many like-minded people as possible, and that's what makes my job so amazing. I only work with like-minded people. I've had many clients that I've sort of rejected in a nice way because I don't believe if it's a good fit for me. If it's not a good fit for me, then it's not a good fit for the business. It's as simple as that, really. So yeah, the main thing is morning routine, and it has to start somewhere. And really, I think a lot of people confuse this process and give themselves too much to do. Now, the biggest problem that we've all encountered is that we've had one of our human needs ripped away from us, which is certainty. There are 6 human needs. So there's certainty, uncertainty/variety, growth, contribution, significance, and love and connection. Now, we all crave all 6. And some are more important to us than others. But if we don't have all 6 in some form of our lives, we become very frustrated. And this is where things like poor mental health come into play. So obviously, we love certainty, right? We all love it. Whether you think that, oh no, I'm really quirky and I like to go on different holidays and all the rest of it. Realistically, we all know that we must have a roof over our head. We must have food on our table and clothes on our back. So even if it is just those 3 things that are met with the certainty, we all need it and require it each day. So the main reason why people are struggling right now, I believe, and all my clients as well, is that we don't know when this is going to end. We don't know when the lockdown is going to end. We don't know when things are going to go back to what we perceive as normal. So when we can't see the end in sight, it's very frustrating. If there was a set date, even if it was in late April, at least we could, start adapting our lifestyles to it and accepting it almost. But because this has been ripped away from us, all of our normal day-to-day routines, we can't see our clients in person like you guys would love to as well. I get a much better result when I'm with them in person, as I'm sure you guys do. It's amazing that we can do it all virtually, but really we want to be with them one-to-one. So we don't know when that's going to end, and that's the biggest problem. So what it is that people think I do is motivation. Now, I don't really like motivation. I'm going to explain why. I don't like being associated with the word motivation. It's because it's a behavior, it's because it's a feeling, etc. We can't just walk around motivated all the time, because you just run out of energy, to be honest. So imagine if you run around just happy or just sad or anything. The motivation comes and it goes, but momentum and progress lasts forever. So I always talk about momentum, not motivation. If you're looking to start running a 10K, right, you can decide that day, I'm really motivated. I've listened to a fantastic speech. I'm pumped up. I've got my music on. I've got my trainers on. I've got all my sports gear ready. And then you haven't run a 10K in 2 or 3 years, the motivation isn't going to be able to do that for you. You're probably going to get to around 2K, you're probably going to tear your hamstring, get blisters and get injured, etc. But momentum, if you have the 10K as the end goal, is tomorrow I'm going to go out and I'm going to run the sort of, 1K without stopping. And the next day I'm going to run 1.5K without stopping, and I'm going to constantly build as much as I possibly can. So like I said, the momentum is always going to carry you through no matter what it is you're looking to achieve. So when it comes to the, the sort of motivation thing, people lack motivation because their why for wanting to change isn't big enough. It's as simple as that. So until it becomes a pain point for you, you're never going to change it, no matter what it is. So when people say, I'm sure you guys have heard it a million times before, I just want to lose weight. I would encourage you all, I'm sure you all have a very long process for doing this anyway, but it's something that I call the 7 levels deep exercise, which I've actually learned from the Dean Graziosi technique. It's been proven, we don't know where nor by who, but it does work. If you ask the same sort of question back to them 7 times, you'll get to the real answer. So what I mean is, if you say, why are you looking to make change in your life? Well, I want to lose weight. Then you ask the same question back to them and say, why is it important to you to lose weight? Well, I'm sick of feeling really fat. Why are you sick of feeling fat? Well, because I used to be size 12 and now I'm a size 18. Why is it important not to be a size 18 anymore? And when you ask it 7 times, like the same question back to them, you get to the real answer. And it almost needs to be a painfully emotive reason, because otherwise the change is not going to be big enough. So when I do it with my clients, will say, I want to lose weight. And it's like, it's not a big enough reason. It usually comes down to, I want to feel comfortable naked, or I want to get into a pair of jeans I've not been able to fit into for 5 years, or I put on a pair of jeans the other day that I've always been able to fit into and I can't anymore. If you focus on the actual weight, you're never going to be happy unless you're a prize fighter boxer or a bodybuilder, etc. It's not the weight people should be chasing towards, it's the feeling. So I always make sure that people are getting towards that and having the non-scale victories as much as possible, which I'm sure you guys teach anyway, so I don't want to teach you how to suck eggs. Now, with the morning routine, it's all well and good having all these fantastic things and all these rituals set out in the morning, but you need to reverse engineer it slightly and look at the previous night, because if the night routine is terrible, therefore your morning routine is going to be terrible. You can be wanting to be productive and engaged and focused as much as you want, but if you've only got 3 or 4 hours sleep, or you get into sleep too late and things like that, then it's going to disrupt your pattern for the next day. So I actually start the process with a nightly routine, which I think is really key, which I would highly encourage you all to start as soon as possible. So I used to have insomnia and things like that, and I'd think, oh, why am I doing this? And it'd affect my mental health, and I'd constantly be tired and drained, and I'm thinking, oh God, what's going on? But then I looked at what I was doing on the night, and no wonder. I was playing on my phone, laying in bed, all the other lights are off, and the blue lights in your phone sort of attack parts of your retinas in your eyes, and it starts reacting and starts increasing your brain function 10 to the dozen. So straight away, your mind and your thoughts are going like crazy because you're constantly touching your phone and playing on your phone. So I actually have a 5-step process for a night routine and a 5-step process for a morning routine. So I'll try to go slowly if you guys want to take any notes, and I'll happily send it to you guys afterwards as well as a reference point. So the first one is, I don't touch my phone other than to set an alarm 30 to 60 minutes before bed. So I'll go up at, say, I usually go to sleep around 11 o'clock. In the summer, I go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6. But during the winter, I go to bed at 11 and wake up at 7. So I'll make sure that the latest I touch my phone is 10 p.m. And then I'll go upstairs. I get a quick 2 to 5 minute shower, hot shower as well. Now, there's a video that I highly encourage you all to watch by a guy called Matt Walker. He's a sleep specialist, and he can explain it much better than I can as to why a hot shower is beneficial. So, and all the other steps about a night routine, but I've picked out the ones that I find beneficial for me. So Matt Walker, he's called. He's got a fantastic podcast interview with Joe Rogan, which is about 2.5 hours long, and his best bits are also condensed to around 9 to 10 minutes. But that is a great watch, and it's a real eye-opener for anyone that is struggling to sleep at the moment. So you have a quick 2-minute shower, hot shower, get out, dry off, etc. Then you want to write down your to-do list for the next day. People say, oh, I'm going to do it in the morning. It's already eating into the next day. So it's 5 or 10 minutes that you're not going to get back. And don't overcomplicate the process. When you write down a to-do list of 10 things, you prioritize nothing. If you let go of, if you let 2 rabbits out of a hatch, for example, and try to catch both of them, you won't catch any of them. So it's about going after the low-hanging fruit. And what I do with my with my clients, and what I do for myself, is I have 3 tasks every day, and everyone has the number one. Everyone has that big one that they want to get done. So you might think in your head, oh no, I've got 10 to do, I've got client notes to do, I've got this, I've got my orders to put in for the vending machines, I've got this, I've got that. But we all know that there's 3. And then there's, out of the 3, there's always one big one that you need to get done 100% that day. So I'd focus on that. And once you do the 3, you've then built momentum. So you already feel better. Don't write down 10 and then use it as a stick to beat yourself with once it's not completed, because that's the quickest way to lose momentum and get really frustrated with yourself. And then it's, oh, what's the point? And then you fall out of love with the process straight away. So just start by writing 3 things down, and then you can attack more as you go. So you've written down your to-do list, then meditate. So there are there's probably about hundreds of different ways to meditate, right? What I would recommend, if you've got it already, use Headspace or use the Calm app. Calm is the one that I use, and it's around £36 for the year, or £37. It's around £3 a month. It's nothing, but it's extremely beneficial. And in all honesty, I should have shares in the Calm app, because I recommend it to all my clients and they all use it as well. So with the meditation, they have guided meditation. So it's key to have all the lights off in your room and be in pure darkness if possible to do the meditation. Now, like I said, the guided ones, you can have relaxing sounds, you can have sleep stories, you can have sort of raindrops in the window, you can have bird calls, whatever, right? Whatever works for you. And just do a 5 to 10 minute guided meditation. And then I personally have an eye mask that I put on to block out any unnecessary light. If you've got blackout curtains, amazing, you don't necessarily need that. And then I listen to a bedtime story. So it could be Idris Elba, it could be Matthew McConaughey, and I have no shame in admitting that I have a bedtime story read to me by Matthew McConaughey every night. It's absolutely awesome. So ladies, get it listened to. It's very, very good. But yeah, it just relaxes me. And then I focus purely on the words of what he's saying. And then I focus on my breathing. So literally, again, I don't want to teach you how to suck eggs here, but deep breaths in through your nose. Listen, while listening to the sleep story, having done those 4 or 5 other things, you'll set yourself in great stead for a great night's sleep. And obviously, you're all in the fitness space, you understand the importance of drinking water, but I would have a minimum of, my sort of rule of thumb is that I have a litre of water per 25 kilos of weight. So, I'm 110 kilos. I'm a big boy, so I have about 4 litres minimum every day of water, but it really helps with sleep. And this is what Matthew Walker talks about in the video as well. So you've had your night routine. Now you want to set up perfectly for the morning. First thing is, put your phone the other side of the room. The temptation that most people do, and people say to me, and I'm sure they say to you guys all the time, they don't have the time. But in reality, we probably waste an hour, 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes on the evening of just playing with our phones unnecessarily. So if you can put the phone at the other side of the room, when the alarm goes off, you have to get out of bed straight away to turn the alarm off. Such a simple thing to do. When it's next to you, you can snooze it, you can turn it off, and then you're going to scroll on Facebook or Instagram or the Daily Mail or, check your emails, whatever. But it's really important to have it at the other side of the room. So you're up straight away. I then go wash my face, brush my teeth, and drink a pint of water. It's so key to get hydration in as soon as possible. You've just been 7 or 8 hours without any hydration. So you need to get that body function up as much as possible. By the way, this is only step 1. So there's a lot of bits to step 1. So bear with me. So you drink the water, brush your teeth, wash your face. I then just do 20 star jumps just to get some blood flow going in my body. Full body workout, very, very quick, very easy. And then my energy levels have gone up straight away. And then I make my bed. So my girlfriend has, 20 cushions for the other cushions and the throw and the this and the that, right? But it's important to her, so I make it accordingly. So I always just make my bed first thing, and then it's a little task that I've ticked off to gain momentum. I then go downstairs, and I get into what I call peak state. So this is a bit of a reversal to meditation. It's a form of meditation, but it gives you loads of energy. So I'm not going to do it now because I'm conscious of time, but this is just an exercise that takes 2 minutes. So again, I highly encourage all of you to practice this, called peak state. Now, it's something that Tony Robbins has been studying for 40 years. And 4 years ago, they eventually did a test on it at Harvard. So by doing this exercise just for 2 minutes, it increases testosterone in men and women by 19%. It decreases cortisol, which is stress, by 18%. And you're 33% more likely to take action. So I'll show you very quickly how it works. Basically, you just stand up and you stand like a superhero would. So you stand like this and you put your hands on your hips. You put your chest back, your back straight, your legs apart, and your head forwards. You breathe in deep through your nose. Hold it for 3 seconds. And then release it for 3 seconds. By doing this exercise just for 2 minutes, all that effects on your body, it's amazing. So you just get into peak state. Then I practice gratitude. So when I'm in peak state, I then practice gratitude. So some people find this very uncomfortable to begin with, which is completely understandable. But don't just write down what you're grateful for. Verbalize it. Because by writing it down, it's just words on a page and it means nothing. When you verbalize something, your physiology changes instantly. And the energy that you give to it is what you'll get back out at the end. So if you're sat down like this in a lousy state, practicing gratitude, yeah, I'm grateful for my parents and my job and my wife and my kids, it's not going to have any impact. If you're in peak state, when you finish peak state, and put your hands on your chest like this on your heart, I am so grateful for. I'm grateful for my girlfriend. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my career. I'm grateful for my health, whatever. And then each day you can keep changing what it is that you're grateful for. Don't just think I have to say I'm grateful for my family just because someone said so. Now, of course, it is a big importance to do that, but make it about moments. Go back in your mind, close your eyes, put your hand on your heart and remember a moment. It might be your wedding day. It might be the moment your children were born. It might be that moment you got a promotion or you got a big contract with a new client. So just go back to moments and really live in the moment of pure gratitude. And it really does sort of brighten your day. So that's peak state and gratitude. So step 3, healthy breakfast. Now, everyone's got different theories on fasting and all the rest of it, and I get it. It's fine. I'm not going to tell anyone how to do it. But for me personally, I have a nice, healthy breakfast. It gives me fuel for the day. I like to think of it as trying to start a car without any petrol. If you're not starting the day without any fuel inside you already, it's not going to bring you the result that you want. Then I go on a walk. So people, I think the biggest problem that people experience, and I'm sure it's the same with you guys and your clients, is that they're overcomplicating this process, especially if they're maybe in their beginning stages of weight loss and they're quite, overweight and things like that. Just go on a long walk. That's all you need to do. It's great to get the positive endorphins going, get out in the fresh air, etc. As I'm out on my walk, I then listen to an audio book because then I've killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So there's something that I have in my life, and again, I highly encourage you all to do the same. It's what I call the 3 C's: constantly consume content. So no matter what I'm doing throughout the day, I'm always consuming positive content. I've got TED Talks in my ears. I've got YouTube videos of Tony Robbins or Les Brown or Eric Thomas or some incredible speakers, because listening to music's great and all the rest of it, but for me, and listening to fictional books, if you enjoy it, fantastic. But I'm into personal development. I want to be the best person I can be. I want to listen to people that have done it and that are better than me in my field. So I'm constantly consuming as much content as I possibly can. Now, in business, we talk about ROI all the time, but what we don't talk about is ROT, which is return on time. People say all the time, what do you value money? What do you value more, money or time? People say money, but it's time. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. So if you can pinch 20 minutes, 30 minutes here or there and tie things together, when you're meal prepping, listen to an audio book. When I'm in the gym, I'm listening to YouTube videos or TED Talks. I'm always getting little bits of pockets of space back throughout the course of my day, just by being as proactive and productive as I possibly can be. So, and then when I come back home, I'll then write down my goals for the day. So this is all done within 90 minutes. Now, it's going to take time to put these steps into the process, but the night routine takes me now all of probably 30-40 minutes max, and then the morning routine is about 90 minutes as well. So in that time, like I said, I've woken up, I've brushed my teeth, I've washed my face, I've drank water, I've made my bed, I've got into peak state, I've practiced gratitude, I've had a healthy breakfast, I've gone on a long walk, so I've got exercise in, I've listened to an audio book, and I've written down my goals. Now, everyone's different. I don't have children, so it's very easy for me to say this smooth 90-minute transition without kids jumping all over you, and I get it. But it can be tailored to your needs, and it can be altered. And even if you pick out a couple of these habits to build that momentum, I'd highly recommend doing that. And just don't overcomplicate the process. Like I said, this is the biggest problem that people do, is that they think they have to have it all figured out as quickly as possible. And the short answer is you simply don't. Just keep building that momentum and don't give yourself too much to do. So yeah, hope that was helpful. If you've guys got any questions on anything, then please fire away.
Hi, I have one question, if that's okay.
Sure.
You say about the listening to the Calm app, but you also say about not having your phone in an evening. So where do you put your phone while you're listening to that to avoid having the blue light filter?
Sure. It'll literally, so what I mean is, obviously, if you look at it once, it's not going to do anything, so it might just be set an alarm, put it down. It's when you're sort of endlessly scrolling like this and it's just doing this for 10-15 minutes. So I would just put the phone sort of out of your remit of reach, essentially. So you don't have to put it 20 feet away, so you can't hear what it is. I would just put it around 10 to 12 feet away from your bed, and then have the Calm app playing in the background. Alternatively, if you've got like earpods or AirPods, you could maybe use those as well and put it on like a really low volume. Something like that works for some people as well. But yeah, I have mine sort of 8 to 10 feet away from my bed and just do it that way.
Great, thank you. That's very helpful.
No worries.
Cool. I had a question, Adam, if that's cool.
Sure.
It was just, what was the name of the guy you said about the shower? Because I love Joe Rogan's podcast.
He's called
so
Matthew Walker.
Matthew Walker, perfect. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. Brilliant.
Yeah, what he doesn't know is not worth knowing. And he revealed some things to me. I was just like, no. And then I tried it. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. You know exactly what you're talking about. It's amazing. He's really good.
No, perfect. Thanks. I really enjoyed that.
Good man.
Yeah, great questions. Adam, I've got a quick question for you. You say you go for a long walk. Is there kind of a minimum time you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably obviously the longest part of the routine, in all honesty. I try to get a big dent into my 10,000 steps where I can. Typically speaking, it's, I'd say around 30 to 40 minutes will suffice just for a morning, just to get you out there and get you going. You don't need to do any more than that, really, again, because I know that everyone's time's precious and everyone's got different things going on in the morning, but I personally always allow myself around that 40-minute mark, and then I go out later on at night as well to do another one.
Awesome, thank you. Anyone else got any other questions? Because I've got another question otherwise. Okay, my turn. Question 2, if that's all right.
Sure.
I'm sure you have this from time to time, if not very often. Somebody says, well, okay, it's 90 minutes. I don't have 90 minutes. It seems like a lot of time to do first thing in the morning. How would you help somebody who says, well, I thought it was going to be like 15 minutes or 20 minutes?
Sure. I think the short answer is just to try condense it. And the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it. So if you, for example, don't have time to do the long walk in the morning, just get out and just get that vitamin D, get that fresh air on your skin as quickly as possible. Where that might be walking to work, you might just be walking around the block quickly just to get the fresh air in. But the rest of it really is the crucial bit for me, getting the breakfast in. Doesn't have to be sat down having a poached eggs on toast kind of job. It could just be a banana. That could be where you trim some time off. If you've already got your goals written down the night before, you're already ahead of the curve. So yeah, just try pick and choose what suits your lifestyle as best you can, because if you have got 3 young kids running around causing havoc, you might not have as much time to do it. But I think the peak state and gratitude can take 5-10 minutes. The actual first bit, making the bed, drinking the water, all that sort of stuff, once you get it down to a T, 3 or 4 minutes. So that's probably 10 minutes, get dressed, another 10 minutes, healthy breakfast, depending on what it is, could be 30 seconds to 5-10 minutes. So there are ways and means of adapting it to just about any lifestyle. And like I said, ultimately, it's just about implementing one and then building from there, as opposed to going, oh God, I've got so much to do so quickly.
Yeah, so it's about getting started. It's like you say, keeping it simple. It doesn't have to be perfect. There is no solid prescription. It's not like you're going to get a fine if you don't do it exactly as it said.
Yeah, correct. That's exactly it. You know, it's like I said, it's very easy for me to say with no children, when I run my own business, I can do that. But if you know, when I was an employee or I had to be at work at 9 a.m. sharp kind of thing, I know that these things can happen. And, you know, but I always thought, well, if I'm doing that, if I start work at 9, let's say, even if I live 20, again, some people live an hour away from work, but that'll just come down to tailoring the night routine then, because again, we decide what time we wake up and we decide what time we go to bed. So if you want to be more productive, wake up earlier. How do you counteract that? Go to bed earlier. There's not much good stuff happening after 9 p.m. realistically. And that episode on Netflix can probably wait till the next night, as opposed to just watching it for the sake of it again, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of routines. I'm a creature of habits. I know some people just like the spontaneity, and I've got loads. You know, I've taken heaps of notes there. I've got a couple of good pages of notes and actions. And for me, it's all about productivity, because what you've talked about is, yes, I'm going to invest 90 minutes. But what it will do is it creates, first and foremost, a focus. It sets the focus for the day. I'm not distracted by other stuff that I can just get sucked down a rabbit hole. It's focusing me on what's most important to me, as well as actually building energy, you know, waking up rather than saying, oh, I don't know what to do and whatever else. So it's building that energy, and then that energy is then going into all the tasks that you're doing. And with the gratitude, you're actually enjoying the process rather than feeling like an emotionless, soulless machine. So there's fulfillment in that as well. And I think, well, I know I experience it, that if I miss my routine, I can have days where it still works out, but there are other days where I just know that the day goes a lot better because of it. And I love what you said about tomorrow starts tonight.
Yeah, and that's it. You know, and you can start a new sleep routine in a day. You can change your whole sleep pattern within one day. We've all done it with the airport run, getting up at 3:30 and 4 in the morning, right? So if you wanted to break that cycle and break that pattern, you've realistically got one day of suffering. So if you want to change your sleep pattern to, you know, but again, don't go too drastic. So a client of mine used to, you know, he works for Bacardi, he's a spirit rep, and it's like get up at 9 a.m. on the road, and he used to wake up at 8:15. So it's like getting up late, dashing around, rushing, doing this. And I was like, look, tomorrow I just want you to get up 10 minutes earlier. And the day after that, 5 minutes after that. And then week on week, you know, within 2 weeks, he was getting up at 6 a.m. But it's like anything, it's the scary prospect of the end outcome. So what I mean is, if I said to someone who's never run a marathon before, 6 months from now, you're going to run a marathon, no chance, absolutely no chance, you know. And a friend of mine set a goal this year to run 500 miles or 520 miles. So it's 10 miles a week. So, and people go, 520 miles, that's ridiculous. That's like 20 plus marathons. I said, yeah, if you break it down like that, it is a lot. Or you look at it as 1.5 miles, 2 miles a day. It's like, oh yeah, that makes a massive difference. So if you actually break, you know, because people overestimate what they can do in a year and they underestimate what they can do in a decade. And when you think about that as maybe a young up and coming personal trainer or a gym owner or a new brand that you've put out there, and you think, oh God, I need to have it all figured out. I need to be nailing my competition. I need to be doing this. And it's like, just have patience and trust the process, because imagine where you could be 10 years from now. Because everyone's guilty of it, me included. When I first started Big Raw in my first couple of weeks, I was like, oh, why haven't I got 30 clients already, right? It's like, well, no one knows about you yet, so don't worry about it. The success will come in time, and then imagine where you could be 10 years from now instead.
Awesome. That's a nice, wise note to end it on. If anyone got any burning question remaining? No? Fantastic. Thank you so much, Adam. I'm sure we've all got loads out of it.